Hey everyone, welcome to Photo Tipsy. Today we've got something exciting to review. It's the Panasonic G100D. So we'll cover the good and the bad so you can have an informed decision if you're thinking about picking up this camera. So first off, let's start by clarifying something. There is a Panasonic G100 and a Panasonic G100D model. So what's the difference? The G100 was first released in 2020 and the G100D was released in 2024 as a minor update to the G100. The main new feature of the G100D is a new electronic viewfinder or EVF. The G100 has a 3.68 million dot electronic viewfinder LCD display, while the G100D has a 2.36 million dot OLED display. So while the screen resolution has decreased on the G100D, you get the benefit of OLED over LCD, which means better image quality with deeper blacks and better color reproduction, faster response times, and better energy efficiency. The other update for the G100D over the G100 is that the micro USB port has been replaced with a USB Type-C 2.0 port. A USB-C port allows for USB Type-C charging and should provide for quicker data transfer to and from the camera. So with that said, those are the main differences. So the rest of the review actually covers both the G100 and the G100D. Now let's dive in. So Panasonic markets the G100 100D towards content creators. But while it has great video features like high resolution, 4K, 24p, 30p videos, it also offers a wide array of photo capabilities. So I'm not going to list all the technical video and photo features since you can read all about that on the product specification page. But here are some of the things that I found to be pretty neat. So the G100 100D features audio tracking. The camera has 3 microphones that can pair with facial recognition to track where a subject is so that it can pick up audio in the subject's direction. So as I test, I first wanted to try the surround sound, which is picking up audio in all directions, and I put my phone with crickets behind the back of the camera while I talked in front of the camera. So this is the audio. Now I'm testing surround sound, so this should be picking up audio from all sides of the camera. I'm going to play some cricket noises at the back of the camera while I'm still talking at the front of the camera. I just want to see what it sounds like in the end. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear the cricket in the back? And then I set the built-in microphone to pick up just in the front. So now this is the test again, and I'm talking in the front of the camera, and I have the crickets playing in the background. I'm going to put the cricket noises at the back of the camera. Now I'm going to be talking in the front of the camera, and we'll see how much you can hear me talking from the front versus how much noise it's picking up from the background, which is the cricket noises. So you can see when the microphone is set to pick up in the front, it records my voice in the front and it suppresses the cricket noise in the background. Now I'm testing with tracking. So I'm talking in the front, and now I'm going to start my crickets, and my crickets are going to be playing in the back of the camera. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you still hear me in the front of the camera? Is it still picking up that I'm talking in the front of the camera? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can tell it works pretty good. So another thing that's great about the G100 and G100D is that you can take slow and quick motion videos in the S&Q exposure mode. So that's great for adding some creative flair to your videos. The G100, G100D also offers a feature called Snap Movies. So with a Snap Movie, you can set the length of your movie recording time in advance. So for example, 4 seconds. And then you just press the record button once, and then it will record a 4-second movie with a single press of a button, just like you would take a photo snapshot. And then you can also add a pull focus at the start of the recording and add different fade effects in advance. The Panasonic G100 100D is very easy to use. You can use touch operation to focus or take pictures or videos, and you can even use touch operations to navigate through the menu items. The monitor is good because it can swivel to face the front of the camera, and this is crucial for content creators filming as a one-man setup, just like I am right now. And one thing I really like is the self-shot mode. So there's a face option, which will automatically take a picture when a detected face is covered with an object, such as a hand, and then when the object is removed and the face is detected again, then the camera will automatically take a picture. And it also has extra effects to slim your face down and smooth skin out. And there's also a buddy option. When it detects two faces coming close together, it'll automatically take a picture. There's some good beginner functions like the scene guide mode. You can just pick what you want to take a picture or video of, and the camera will automatically configure its settings to get the image looking just right. You don't need to know about aperture, shutter speed, ISO, and all that. And there's also an array of filters and photo styles. So the G100 100D is also an excellent camera for beginners because it has some cutting-edge software that allows you to simplify and do more complicated photo techniques all while in camera. So some examples include live view composite recording, which is good for things like light painting. There's also sequence composition, where you can combine a subject's movement into one composite image. So for example, I have a sequence of images where a ball is dropping. I can then pick and choose images to create a composite image to show the action of the ball dropping. There's also a multiple exposure feature, which allows photographers to combine multiple images into a single frame. And there's also post focus, where the camera takes a series of 4K photos and automatically shifts the focus between the different shots. And then once the recording is completed, you can select which areas of the screen you want to be in focus. The camera also lets you do interval recording so that you can do time-lapse videos and stop-motion animation. You can simulate pans and zooms with live cropping. You can do raw processing in camera. So you can also store people and pets in memory where the camera will recognize them, and you can label them and put their ages on them at the time of the photo. But I tried this out and it's not the greatest at differentiating people, so your mileage may vary with that one. The G100 G100D also has numerous bracket options, for example exposure, aperture, focus, and white balance bracket. So you might be thinking, hey cool, it has focus bracketing, which would help me with focus stacking. Well, actually it's even easier than that. You can actually do focus stacking in the camera. So what focus stacking is it's a photographic technique used to achieve a greater depth of field in an image that wouldn't be possible with a single exposure. So this would be particularly useful in macro or landscape photography. And as time permits, I'm hoping to upload more in-depth videos of each of the features that I just mentioned. So please subscribe if you're interested in learning more. So back to the G100 100D. Panasonic is one of the very few camera brands that lets you take pictures while you're recording videos. When you take a picture, it doesn't interrupt your video footage at all. It's pretty seamless. So to do this, you just have to be in the still image mode. You press the movie record button to start filming your video. And then when you want to take an image, just press the shutter button. Or another option that you can do with the camera is that you can extract photos from already recorded videos. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a good beginner camera. But the camera also gives you room to grow as you advance in your photography and videography skills. So for example, the physical buttons. You notice that there's not too many physical buttons. This keeps things nice and simple and doesn't overwhelm a beginner user. But when you're ready to advance, you can change the buttons to other functions as desired. And there's also a dial operation switch setup function. So that lets you press a function button and boom, your front and control dials can temporarily take on different functions. So that's like adding 2 more buttons to your camera. Okay, let's be realistic. The Panasonic G100 100D does have its flaws and limitations. So one of the negatives of the Panasonic G100 100D is that it doesn't have in-body image stabilization, also known as IBIS. So IBIS works by moving the camera's image sensor to counteract movement and to keep things stable. However, even though you don't have IBIS, you can use OIS lenses to compensate. So OIS stands for Optical Image Stabilization, and it's a technology built directly into the lens. So if you just use a OIS lens, then you should be good to go as far as stabilization is concerned. And the G100 100D also has a 5-axis hybrid image stabilization system. So for video, there's 2 options, standard and high. So just note that with the high option, there's going to be quite a bit of crop. So you either need a super wide angle lens or very long arms to get the camera further away from you, or you'll just have to deal with a very tight close-up of your subject. Like my face in this example, which yeah, I don't like looking at my face that close up. In this example, I was using a 12mm lens, which is pretty wide. And for comparison, I also tested the G100 against my iPhone 13 front camera. And to me, the results are fairly similar between the phone and the Panasonic G100D. But I think the 100D has a slight edge, producing a little more stable results in my brief testing. So another thing that people didn't like is that it has a maximum shutter speed of 1/500th of a second, which isn't that fast. You usually want very fast shutter speeds to freeze motion. Alright, now battery life. So let's face it, the G100 100D is a small camera. So inevitably, that's going to mean it uses a smaller battery and thus won't have the greatest battery life. So when using the HFS 12032 lens, the camera battery is rated to be able to take 270 to 1050 pictures, depending on if power save options are enabled and whether you're using the monitor or the viewfinder. And for video, the battery life is rated at 40 to 130 minutes of recording time, depending on the picture quality that you use and how you're using the camera. So for me, the biggest drawback is that the G100 100D limits the amount of time you can record in a single session, depending on the record quality setting. So for example, 4K videos has a max stop time of 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, the camera's going to stop recording and then you have to press the record button again to begin another recording session. As you go lower quality, then the time limit is greater. So just a shameless plug, if you're interested in any of the software features that I mentioned, such as focus stacking, but you don't necessarily like the G100 100D camera, then you can use the camera feature search on the Photo Tips You website to see if there are any other cameras with that feature that might suit you. So overall, the G100 100D is a great travel camera because it's compact, lightweight, and easy to carry. At the time of its release, it's Panasonic's smallest and lightest interchangeable lens camera. It's a great entry-level camera for content creators while offering room to grow as your skills advance. So one of the things that makes the G100 100D stand out over other comparable cameras is that it has a viewfinder, making it a great hybrid camera to do both photography and videography. So for example, the similar smaller Sony ZV lineup cameras do not have a viewfinder. So if you're going to do photography, then it's helpful to have a viewfinder because if it's sunny outside, then the viewfinder can help with visibility and it helps you to isolate your composition. However, if you already own the G100, then the 100D doesn't really offer too many reasons to upgrade. So if you're thinking about taking the plunge and purchasing the G100 or 100D, please consider using the links below to help support my channel without any extra cost to you. Or if you want to just like this video or subscribe to my channel, that would also be greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching.